So you know what? The Facebook group actually came up with some pretty interesting questions, and I think we ought to do some of them right now. You think that'd
Sure.
be okay, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Anthony Chain asks the most important question: where do you
Mhm.
get your slammin' jean jackets?
Okay. So there are multiple places to get them, but I mean, you have to go with the classic Levi's raw denim. I only buy raw denim. I don't buy
Okay.
any washed, nothing pre-washed. There's a Levi's trucker. I think it's the Rigid 2. That's the color. The
Oh,
Rigid 2 trucker raw denim jacket by Levi's, and that's your classic. I don't remember that they have different types and different cuts and so forth. This is definitely one of the very, um, this is like the modern take on the modern classic, I would say.
okay.
The other place would be um, LC King. They used to they joined brands with Pointer. I think they're the same brand. One owns the other. I think LC King is the head honcho, the mother company. But they used to make a Pointer brand short coat, and I buy the denim ones. I like them a lot.
Okay.
So those two, but there's tons of different ones I really want. Yeah, there's this one guy in Portland, Oregon, and he goes by the name Ship John, Shipjohn.
Okay.
He used to be, his name used to be the Tomahawk brand, but he changed it to Ship John, and he makes one of the best jackets I've ever seen in my life. I want it. It's like $500-$600.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's really expensive.
So I don't know about you, Cliff, but in Michigan, we've got maybe 3 weeks where a jean jacket's appropriate,
Yeah.
and like then you're layering it in 4 layers.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's the same for you, but it's kind of the opposite, right?
Yeah, there's about 4 weeks out of the winter where a jacket is appropriate, and then
Yeah.
I'm wearing maybe long sleeves rolled up or even short sleeves the rest of the and I think San Francisco or the Bay Area, from
Perfect
what I
place.
understand, yeah, you can kind of do jean jacket,
All year
yeah,
round.
all year round.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a related question, Blake Weiland from the Tone Mob podcast, he asks, how he stay so fine?
Well, the trick is to be Asian. That's about that's about
yeah.
all I can say. To be
That's
as
a good
Asian
point.
as you can.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to be as Asian as I can,
Yes.
with all my food choices lately.
And I'm saying you're looking a lot finer.
Yeah, it's all that. Let me see if I can pronounce it right. Bulgogi,
Yes, bulgogi.
bulgogi. Okay.
Bulgogi. I'm not Korean, but I've definitely within the last like decade just start really getting the Korean food.
Mhm.
And if you ever get yourself to LA again, that's really the place to eat it. It doesn't get any better in the States than LA as far as Korean
Yeah.
food is concerned. But yeah, bulgogi is definitely one of those things, man. It's a staple.
Now I
You know,
heard you
they-
have like this really great recipe for it. How did you come upon that?
I do. This recipe came from one of the moms at my daughter's and son's school.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's best friend, she's Korean American, and her mom gave us this recipe. She uses it. I mean, she makes bulgogi every week, basically, and she marinates it, probably 4 or 5 pounds at a time, and then she basically freezes it. You can freeze it for.
Nice.
Yeah, I would make it in batches like that, freeze it, have it on hand, and just grill it up or fire it up on the pan, right, even when it's frozen.
Oh, yeah.
It'll it'll just render down and cook up. But this recipe is awesome. It's good. It's great for Calbee too. You can use the short ribs. Short ribs are a little more expensive, but definitely tasty. Super tasty.
Yeah, like where do you? I mean, do you have to like go to a butcher and be like, I want you to cut against the grain, and like against the bone? Or I mean, can you find cuts like that?
Well, in the Bay Area, there are Korean markets that
Okay.
specialize in this stuff, so they have all the cuts available on hand. They have it pre-marinated or even just sliced up for you already. So it's really we're really blessed to be in this part of the country where there's so much diversity here that they have Korean markets just dedicated to Korean cuisine.
If you get a good butcher, though, I mean, I actually spent some time being a butcher. You wouldn't get that from my personality at all, but I spent some time doing it. If you got a good butcher, you tell them what to do, and they can do it. And they've got that big bandsaw, and they've got the slicers in there that they can cut it down whatever way you want, and it'll be a pleasure for them, because sitting there making New York strips all day, really not fun.
Yeah, it's
sitting there chopping New York strips on a bandsaw is not fun. Yep. So, but it's interesting because I don't cook at all. I love to eat. I love to eat, and I love to go to. I especially love to go to restaurants where I've never been before and try different things. And when I was introduced to bibimbap, that was like my thing. And I was like, man, whenever I go, I'm going to get stone bowl bibimbap, where they take the sesame oil and put it around the bowl, and they get the bowl out so hot that you do not touch it.
Yeah.
And then you're eating it, and then while you're eating it, there's an egg on top, and the egg goes down and becomes the sauce, and it kind of goes to the bottom, and it kind of combines with the rice and the sesame seeds.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing as good as that. And then it's got the bulgogi in the middle.
Yeah.
And oh man, that's good stuff.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I'm hungry.
So yeah, I mean, bibimbap is really just you know how like if you go to a Korean restaurant, there's a lot of these little small dishes that you get with your meal.
Yeah.
It's called panchan, and they bring out all these little small dishes. Really, what bibimbap is when you're eating at home, they kind of eat like that. They have these little small dishes. Bibimbap is basically all that stuff combined. Like it's like the day after.
Yeah.
Lunch meal that they have.
Yeah.
And that this happens like every day for them. They just they have bibimbap at home. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's something that you can just eat every day, and it's like after you get used to that kind of cooking, you go to a burger place or a pizza place, which this is kind of the root of my pizza as a snack thing. You're getting right into it here. There's so many great things to eat. So many great things to eat. Why are so many Americans stuck with pizza and ranch dressing or something like that? It's like ridiculous, man. There's so many good things to eat.
I know.
And it's like people say pizza, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah,
okay, I guess I'll have a piece of pizza, but I'm gonna be hungry afterwards because I'm bored to tears by it. Even a great pizza is still just bread and sauce and like cheese and stuff, and it's always way too much cheese and way too much sauce, and the bread's just
You're gonna set off a firestorm.
I know
Josh.
that. Listen, Cliff, I have a plan for this. You set off the firestorm, and that firestorm becomes publicity. That publicity becomes more people listening.
There you go.
Well, there we go.
I've laid out my manifesto. Now you can tell everybody that I've laid it out, and then they can come at me, right? And now you're going to gain followers and listeners, right? Yeah, there's a plan for this stuff.
Well,
okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I have a story about Korean barbecue though. There was this place, and I can't remember the name of it. It was in Japantown that I went to. And like there's this Korean joint in New Orleans, and it's like it's not all you can eat. It's like you order the entree, and then you gotta get another entree, and so like you could, it's like $20 here, $20 here, $20. So it gets out of control real quick. Well, this place was advertising like $21, $21.99 or something, all you can eat. I was like, dang. So I went, and there was like I went to one place and they were like, you can't eat here by yourself and do that. And I was like, oh man, okay. So I went to another place, and this place looked a little bit cooler. I went in and I said, look, can I have the buffet? And they were like, well, normally we don't, but it's like we're not busy right now, and so, you know, as long as you're okay with the fact that if we get busy, like, we're gonna kind of move you along. I was like, that's fine. I went and they brought out like 5 dishes of meat, different ones, and I had to get on the flight, like had to go to the airport like right after that.
Oh no!
It's like, oh man.
Oh man!
We got a first class.
Like, what have I done? Right? So,
oh no!
Yeah, but that was like kind of like almost the highlight of my trip, you know, because I was like, I finally awesome. Got some good Korean barbecue.
There's nothing like it. Yeah. Have you ever had hot pot, Cliff?
No.
And you'd love it.
Oh yeah, you've got to do hot pot.
Oh, it's the best, man.
It is.
My wife introduced it to me. We went down to Chicago and went to, I guess, a world famous place there in Chinatown, and there's this. They give you a spicy and a regular broth, and the spicy will blow the top of your head off. You almost have to get half of it with the regular, but they just bring out this big plate of really super fresh meat, like super thinly cut, and you put it in the broth, and like it cooks almost instantly.
Instantly, yeah.
It's like flash fries it almost, huh?
Yep. Yeah. And then they've got all these sauces too, and it's like every bite is different, and then your bowl kind of collects everything, and the sauces, the broth gets richer and richer, and the bowl gets richer and richer. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so you're adding more flavor to the broth as you cook the meat and the vegetables and stuff like that. So at the very end, that's where you put the noodles in.
Yeah.
And you have noodle soup, which is like basically all the flavor of everything that you cooked previously, plus the noodles.
And that's actually something really easy to do at home. That's something my wife's done several times.
Yeah, it is.
You make up you got to work on the broth and make a good broth, but then she actually used we actually bought a fondue pot, and you could use a fondue pot to make the broth hot enough to do that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, and it's super, super easy, and you can go to your Asian market and get the noodles, and because if you have a guy that makes them fresh, if you can find somebody, oh man, that's so cool to watch. Have you ever seen that? That's so cool to watch.
Yeah, it is.
A guy turns the noodles from like one giant piece into like, and it's like, okay, yeah, we play guitar, so what? If I could do that, I know what I'd be doing all day.
Right?
That's such a cool.
This has turned into the food podcast. I've heard that you've got quite the guitar collection, and so I know we could spend 30 minutes talking about all the different guitars and everything, I'm sure, but what's your favorite guitar, you think, and your favorite pickup?
Okay, so oh man, do I have to narrow it down, huh? Yeah. Well, I will say that if I'm gonna pick up a guitar and you're forcing me to only pick one, what's my desert island guitar?
That's right.
For me, it has to be a Telecaster.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, just the way it balances itself, that being able to get both kind of bigger, rounder sounds with a neck pickup, and then you can go from that to all out ear piercing crang on the bridge pickup. There's nothing quite like a Telecaster, the way it cuts, and then the way it can also be nice and round and full. But in my collection, I have one of my favorite guitars, and one of my first electric guitars was a Japanese, made in Japan reissue, a Fender 52 reissue. I think it was made in like 84.
Oh wow!
Yes, it's an 84 MIJ 52 reissue. I love that guitar. That's one of my favorites. I also have a couple of Paul Roney guitars that I really love. I'm excited to hear that Paul is actually going to start to build again.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting to me. Another favorite guitar I have is I don't know if you guys know, but Mitch Ingram from Emerson Custom, he used to make guitars.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. This is before he kind of got himself into the components business.
Mm-hmm.
He was putting out some awesome guitars. I had him build me a Jazzmaster, a Fire Mist Jazzmaster. It's one of my favorite guitars that I own. I also have, let's see, another one I'll pick up quite regularly is my Cower. I have it's actually a Titan.
Okay.
KR1. I think Doug is doing fantastic work over here in California. He's one of those guys that really knows how to make the most out of one guitar. He's really maximizing how much he puts in the KR1, and I'm excited to see the KR2 that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of it's the semi-hollow version. That thing looks sick. But Doug kind of has this whole thing where you can customize, your guitar based on pickups, which kind of leads me into pickups. I'm a single coil lover. I love single coils. As of right now, single coil pickups has to be the Jaguar pickup. There's just something about it, about that metallic claw.
Mm-hmm.
It does something to the magnetic field. I mean, it has a certain bite to it that, it reminds me of a Telecaster, maybe not so much as mid-range heavy, and it's not like a P90. P90 is straight up just mid-range in your face. I'd say, then comes Telecaster, but a bridge Jaguar pickup has something to it. It cuts through a mix really nicely without overtaking anything, and it has a quality that I love when it hits certain saturation points for me. So that pickup and the Jazzmaster pickup, I think those two have really started to creep up in the gear world, especially the Jazzmaster. You're seeing that guitar more and more
Mm-hmm.
within the past 5 years. That really is a special instrument. I heard a story that Fender almost got rid of Strats completely.
Wow.
In favor of the offsets. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm hearing it wrong or I heard the story wrong, but really the person who saved the Stratocaster was Hendrix.
That's
it was during that time.
Yeah.
It was during that time, like the late '60s, they were about to ditch it altogether and just go straight towards the offset market. And then Hendrix, of course, with his world domination, he made the Strat. Before that, who was playing Strats? Who was? Buddy Holly was probably the most notable. Before that, and really in between that time, there's like 20, 25, 30 years in between that time, and they're ready for a new design. And I'm glad that Hendrix stopped them from. I'm glad that Hendrix kept Fender making both of those lines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that offsets, I guess, in the last couple years, has made such a resurgence, and I know, like, I just ordered my first offset guitar.
What'd you get?
The Cower Arcturus.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you picked up one of the kind of specials he had, right?
Yeah, the spring cleaning.
Around.
Mm-hmm.
The spring cleaning, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that. What color did you get?
I got a surf green one. I was like, I'm gonna go just all, this quirky, 60s vibe as I can get. And,
Yeah.
and I saw that and was like, I got to get this one. This is special.
What did you? What kind of pickups did you end up choosing?
Well, I ended up. This is kind of a weird choice, but I've been wanting a dual humbucker guitar, and so I went ahead and got the Seth Lovers, and now I'm hearing you talking about like the Jazzmaster pickups and everything.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I should have gone something like that. That would have been more like true to the offset, but yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try this out, and I think it'd it hit both worlds for me, and then the Mastery Bridge, is gonna be kind of new territory for me because I'm a Telly guy.
I can tell you that the Mastery Bridge, you'll feel pretty at home with it. I don't think there's going to be any. A Bigsby is a little different. Yeah, I mean, Bigsby's can kind of be a little temperamental at times, but since you're getting the Mastery, I mean that thing is stable as all heck. I don't think you'll find any problems with going from a Telly to that.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking for something new, push me in different territory.
That's the guitar to do it with. Yeah, and you can always get you can always get Doug to build you a Jazzmaster pickguard. You could have 2 sets of loaded pickguards for your Arcturus, because it's basically just going to be dropped in because it's a swimming pool route.
Yeah, I may have to do that eventually, and because I think for me, I'm kind of like all pickups. Like I find something fun in all of any kind of combination, and whether it be like P90s or Filtertrons or humbuckers, I think Telly bridge pickups like my favorite, like Desert Island one. But it's all like they all have different gain stages and different places in the EQ spectrum where they shine.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun just to play just so many different kinds of configurations. I'm gonna pick Josh's brain on that. What's your favorite pickup, Josh?
Well, for me, right now I'm pretty much 100% single coil. I've played with humbuckers in the past, and they're fun and all, but they just seem to suit me a little better, I think, because you can get so many different sounds out of a single coil, and they really get clean as opposed to humbuckers. It takes a really special kind of humbucker to actually get clean, and that's for me a big thing. Really, I got a set of nice pickups from Nick Bongers from Great Lakes Pickups, and they're really great for my Strat. But even last week, I played my Ibanez, which has the stock, I think, ceramic or Alnico 5s in it, and they sound pretty good. My Talman, and really, they're a little bit more mid-rangey, and they punch a little bit more. But for me, it's almost more scale length than pickups. I mean, after the single coil, you get a single coil with the right scale length and the right set of nickel strings, and I mean, it's hard to go wrong there. I mean, that it's always been more. I mean, the pickup side, as long as you get clean, get dirty in a nice way, and I can put the right strings on it and play with the right pick, I'm pretty happy with it. But my weird thing is, I can't really have a guitar collection. If I have a guitar that I like, I'll play that guitar, and that's pretty much it for a while. Then I'll play the other guitar. And then I'll play my acoustic, or I'll play my mandolin, and that's. I'm kind of the opposite. I don't really like playing a lot of other guitars, because it feels like I'm changing my voice.
I see.
That's kind of a different thing. I mean, I don't like having that much range. Like when I was playing my Sheridan, I loved my Sheridan, and that was my voice when I was playing it. And there were a lot of things I got out of it, but I started out on a 25.5-inch scale, and that's where I kind of have to be. And I like
see,
maple. I like maple necks, on my electrics, and that's just what I've always liked. It's really weird. I mean, I wish I was one of those dudes who can go into a guitar center and just love playing instruments, but I kind of don't like it. I kind of don't like playing that big variety of instruments because I'm like, yeah, this isn't mine.
I see. Yeah.
Isn't that? I mean, that's an odd thing because I like looking at them, but I'll go into a guitar shop and not play hardly anything, and just look at it. Unless I can find something that's almost exactly like what I have. If I'm going to try out an amp or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can identify with that. I think, like, going back to the Cowers, though, like, I haven't picked up any of those that I'm like, no, it's like the way he shapes the necks and sets them up.
Oh, sure.
And everything it's like, I could, like, play every single one of these.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can see that. If I was looking for a guitar, I mean, the price range that they have those in is just right.
Mm-hmm.
If I played enough electric, I mean, I enjoy playing it, but it's not my heart and soul. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather pick up my acoustic any day. But then that would definitely be in the running, especially since he hits all of my, my good points. I mean, I can get a nice. I could probably have a Nashville Telly style thing made with a blow switch, so that I can get the mid-range Telly thing and get all my cylinders firing and play just that electric if I played an electric, but all the time. But yeah, I mean, and I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, the fretwork's junk," or it's not intonating right, because Doug just doesn't let that kind of stuff out of his shop.
Right, yeah, and that's what I like about his stuff. It's just very consistent.
For sure.
Well, we've had a lot of fun tonight, guys, and I appreciate you, Pat, for coming on the show and just hanging out with us. I do want to encourage you, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, just if you want to subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. And you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and you can also follow us at thecliftonworleyshow.com.